Hi, welcome to this episode of Changemakers. This is your host Akshat, and I'm the co founder at NutriPar Healthcare. Last 10 15 years have seen a tremendous shift in young India's mindset towards health and fitness, where professionals and common people are finally waking up to the need for being an everyday athlete. The pursuit of an athletic body and lifestyle is not limited to sports persons and bodybuilders anymore. And it makes sense too, since the well informed working class now is educated on the tremendous life benefits of being athletic. Mental health, aesthetics, productivity, disease prevention, sexual health, and whatnot. The benefits list is just massive. Yet, quite a few of us actually struggle to meet our athletic health goals in spite of being very, very regular with our workouts, right? And what are the reasons? Well, very well known actually, right? All comes back to nutrition for a lot of us. So today we again have with us Vaishali Ratnam, one of the most experienced and seasoned health coaches in the industry, with specialization in sports nutrition. With her, we'll try and understand that what is it that some of us are missing that is preventing us from getting to a Cristiano Ronaldo or a Virat Kohli level of athletic fitness, with focus on nutrition, which, by the way, is the most important yet most ignored aspect in the pursuit of athletic performance. Let's dive right in. Hey, thanks for joining, Vaishali. Welcome to Changemakers once again. We had a pretty fun chat and very, very informative chat last time. A lot of our listeners actually reverted with thanking you a lot for helping them get very, very useful tips on the weight related aspects that they can improve on their health. So great to have you again.
Thanks, Akshat. Really happy to be back, and hope I'm again able to leave, some a good session this time.
Absolutely, absolutely. So our topic for today is even more interesting. At least personally, I'm able to relate to it a lot because this is a journey that I have been through myself. The topic of our today's conversation is abs are made in the kitchen, right? And just to clarify that while pretty much a lot of people are chasing six pack abs these days, right? The focus of our discussion would be how to become an everyday athlete, which is a person who's very very fit, right? And naturally, I think six pack abs is more of a side product or a byproduct of you being supremely fit than the ultimate health goal of your life, right? That's how I see it. Of course, there was a time in my life when I was chasing six pack abs as a teenager, but who hasn't done that? All right. So, just like we start every time, Vaishali, we just start with a quick rapid fire round. I'll just ask you some, 4 5 questions around this topic, and just expect very quick answers from you, and then we'll dive right in. So, question number one: why should I be athletic if I'm not a person who wants to be a pro athlete? And why should I like chase functional athleticism or supreme level of fitness? Why should I not just be like, okay, I'm not overweight, I should be happy?
Only and only reason to increase your metabolism. Everybody's talking about metabolism. The only way you can increase it by increasing your muscle mass, and that means moving towards being athletic.
Got it. Makes sense. Next one. Three quick reasons why I need to have good muscle mass. Because why can't I be okay having slightly lower than average muscle mass? How could it hurt me?
The more the muscle mass that you're going to have, the more fat you're going to burn, the more calories you're going to burn when you're just resting, when you're just sitting in one place. So hence muscle mass is very, very important. As you age, your muscle mass is going to decrease. Okay. So the more you increase at an early age, the better you will be able to your energy levels will increase. You'll have more stability. Your stamina levels will be more, flexibility will be more, and you will definitely, even at that age, about 60, you will be able to eat everything that you want. So that's what people want, right?
Absolutely. This is interesting. As a 25-year-old who is at a 25% body fat level, which means he's slightly overweight, has slightly excess body fat, how fast can he get to how fast can he get those six pack abs, or to put it differently, how fast can he get to a 12% kind of a body fat
Okay, actually, this is not a rapid fire question because I
level?
cannot answer this in a short thing. But yes, don't give a time frame, okay, to your, getting into shape. Because one thing is your body does not listen to time frame. Definitely dedication, consistency, okay, and following the right diet. Obviously, over a period of time, your diet will keep changing. The more your training increases, the more your reps increase in the gym, your intake of proteins, fats, carbohydrates is going to change. So hence, dedication, consistency, these two are the only recipes in terms of fitness as well as nutrition to get that body that you want.
But if I still were to ask you, for if everything goes well, how fast can I progress from a 25% to a 12% range?
See, if I generalize an ideal of zero point 0.7 to 8 grams of muscle mass, you can build in a week. Okay. But again, this is a very general figure. Like like if I say a person will end up losing 3 kgs in a month, it's again a very generalized figure. But again, it depends, currently on your hormones, your metabolism, your lifestyle, your current diet, your travel, everything. So,
got it. Got it. Next one. What's your definition of being an everyday athlete?
practice, 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 and stick to a plan. Stick to a plan. Adherence to a plan is very, very important. Diet plan, fitness plan, and change it. If you're going to stick to one for all your life, no, nothing is going to happen. Change, revamp, increase your difficulty level. That's how you start challenging your body.
Got it.
And that's a sign of a good athlete.
Got it. All right, thanks, Vaishali. Full marks on the rapid fire, just like last time. So we want to start with a question, which is, I think, very, very common query that a lot of even your clients that you've coached might have asked you or faced. I'm sure it would be good if you could also quote some examples of where this happened. But there's literally so many people who, at least in their head, do everything right, are very, very consistent, right, with their fitness as well as their nutrition, right? But and I'm talking about not people who are trying to lose weight, but people who are trying to get athletic, right? They are at a okay body weight level, but they now want to take the fitness to the next level, right? And I've even myself faced it, and I'll probably later talk a bit about how I got through that. But this is very, very common. It's not even like a matter of 1 or 2 months. It's been, sometimes I see people slogging for 6 months and then still coming back saying, yeah, there's still no progression, right? uh, in your experience of having literally coached hundreds or even thousands of such people, what is the 2 3 most common mistakes that you then find out कि यार ये गड़बड़ हो रही थी इस वजह से इतने महीनों से I was on a plateau? So you are being consistent, but you are not consistent in the right direction.
Okay. Very good question, because many people hit the gym, okay, and they kind of lose focus, because they are not able to get what they want. And the main reasons can be many, okay. It all depends on which stage the person is currently at, okay. So I will cite a couple of reasons. You may fall in any one of the categories, okay. First, okay, you are exercising. Are you exercising right? Okay, obviously I'm not an expert in that, but you can definitely ask a fitness expert whether you're doing it right, whether you have been increasing your difficulty level, whether you have been changing your fitness regime. Okay, because your body also gets used to, like when you follow a diet forever, your body gets used to it. Same like that for an exercise pattern. Okay, are you targeting specific body parts? Second comes obviously my domain, nutrition. Now, a person can be overweight, he can be a normal weight, and he can be an underweight and still want to build muscle. So where do you come under? You need to realize that. Okay, and once you have realized where you fall under, suppose you're overweight, first try decreasing your fat. Because if you're going to build muscle on the fat, you will end up having a very sagging body. Okay, and if you're going to have more of protein, that will also convert into fat if you're overweight. Now, not in all cases. Okay, so we need to take that into consideration. So a caloric deficit always works initially. So get your body into the right frame and then work towards your goal of achieving muscle mass. Third, very important. Okay, are you following a proper nutrition based on all the nutrients that you're getting in your diet. Okay, if you're already in the normal frame, okay, there are chances that you're working hard, your program is very good, but you've still not gone out to a nutritionist and taken a proper diet plan based on your body needs. You're not having the required protein, okay, or you're not having it at the right time. Okay, maybe you're taking a protein powder, but again you're not having it at the right time. So basically the right time, amount, and the right micronutrient at micro and macronutrients, small and bigger nutrients are important. Fourth very important thing is sleep, stress. These are very important factors which we need to consider, because all of these will increase your cortisol levels. The moment your cortisol is high, automatically you will not be able to achieve your goal. Let it be fat loss, let it be muscle building. It eats into everything. Your muscle, it eats into your muscle and causes your blood sugar to increase. That's as simple as that. So if you're having stress, if you're not sleeping well, please get that in order. Hydration. Hydration is very important. Your muscles will grow and look bigger only if you're hydrated. Otherwise, it will look sunken. Okay. Also, very important, it is dedication and consistency. I've been telling it right from the beginning. Don't look at short fixes. I like मुझे यही time में यही चाहिए. Not like that. Your body will transform. I would also give this idea to you. Start taking pictures of your body. Suppose you started, today's your day 1 of diet and exercise routine. Okay, changed exercise routine, changed exercise, routine. Take your picture. Okay, and after a month again, take your picture. It takes time. Don't do it weekly,
Yeah.
and it'll cause dejection. Do it, and you will see you will have a transformation. Because muscle building, weight gain, these are slow processes. Sometimes even you will get, weight loss fast. But these are kind of slow and steady processes.
Absolutely.
So hence, dedication, determination, and don't set up a very, very strong, time frame. Work towards it. You have a goal, work towards it. That's it. That's simple.
Got it. I think so. So just to summarize, key tips are obviously the right kind of training, and I've been training for long, so I know that progressive overload and just keeping the variation going, doing functional movements and isolation movements, just mixing it up is important. Your macros and micros. I think macros is very well known. It's the protein, carbs, fat, and even fiber. But micros are often ignored. I think we should talk a bit more in a bit more detail about that.
Absolutely.
And finally, your stress, controlling the stress and recovery.
Stress and sleep.
Correct. Right. So out of all these,
Akshat, sorry to interrupt you, but sleep. One more thing that I want to add here is, sleep doesn't mean you sleep at 2 and wake up at 10. Okay, you need to sleep when the sun goes down. Okay,
it's called the circadian rhythm, right?
Exactly, your circadian rhythm. You need to follow that. That's when your muscles will rest. You'll get flat abs. You cannot have a stomach coming out and muscles building on top of it, right? Your muscles also need to relax for a period of time. So hence, maintain a good sleep regime. That's very important for even muscle recovery.
Got it. So out of all these, Vaishali, what is the one thing that you've seen that is there one blocker standing between people who for months are at a plateau in terms of their journey and their goal, right? So all of these things are equally important, I would say. But what is the one thing that people screw up a lot more frequently than the other, and then that's the one thing that's really causing them to not progress?
Akshat, I think you know the answer. It's food. People screw up a lot in terms of food. So that's a challenge. So that's why dietitians and nutritionists are there. They're a motivating factor. They will push you. They will keep you on track, because to be honest, you have so many priorities in life. From that, one priority is for you to look good, to have good muscle mass, to age slower. These are your goals. So you can always choose a person or a buddy, a coach who can actually guide you and lead you to your goal. So I would honestly suggest, if you're somewhere facing a plateau, don't waste time. Please reach out to somebody, like a proper genuine nutritionist or a dietitian who can actually help you with your goal, reaching your goal.
Got it. Got it. So, Vaishali, coming on to this entire dilemma that I have seen a lot of my friends also face. So, somebody is, let's say, slightly overweight. This is not, somebody who's highly obese, but just marginally overweight. Could be, whatever, 5, 7, 8, 10 kg, right? They want to get athletic, right? So, there's two parts to the goal. One is reducing your body fat percentage from, let's say, a 25 percentage level to a, let's say 13-14% level. That's roughly the athletic benchmark, and while also gaining lean muscle mass, right? These two, a lot of times people get confused that यार इसको किस sequence में करना है, या can these be pursued together. Some people feel these are conflicting goals कि if you try to lose body fat, you have to lose muscle mass, which in my knowledge is not true. If you're doing it, fat loss the right way. But then there's a lot of confusion around कि ये दोनों चीजें साथ में करनी है to get functionally athletic. How do I approach my entire journey? Let's say from a state wherein I am 25% body fat and lower than average muscle mass, to reaching my goal of 12-15% body fat and super high muscle mass.
Okay, again, a wonderful question, because I think many people is, kind of get confused at this part, because they don't know what to do first, and is there a particular way in which it has to be done. So first thing is, like you said, yes, there is a pattern which has to be followed. See, even when it comes to fitness or when it comes to diet, okay, if you're on a fitness regime and you want to lose fat, you cannot be only exercising your muscles or doing a weight training and expect that your fat will burn. It does not happen in literal sense. Okay, you need to focus even on cardio. Can be even high intensity activity, anything that you wish to choose. Okay, that's about fitness. Again, moving over to the nutrition domain, is whenever you are trying to build muscle mass, the strategy or the progress is very different when it comes to nutrition. I need to give you enough protein for you to build up that muscle mass, but at the same time protein also gets converted into fat in the body. So I, at that point, I need to strategize that, okay, should I be reducing your fat at this point of time, or should I be building on your muscle? Because if I start building on your muscle, I am not going to see the scale move. Okay, so at that point I will give you a diet which is more of fat burning, or which has obviously a caloric deficit, but at the same time I'm looking at more in terms of fat burning, and obviously carbs will be higher in that diet. Eventually, as I progress and you have lost about 5-6 kgs, reached your ideal body weight, then I can think about increasing your protein slowly and gradually. Okay, that's where I will start reducing my carbs. So it is a gradual process. Okay, so don't get strayed away by people who say nahi high protein khao, high protein khao. High protein khane se bhi you will see people having a lot of fat on their abs. So what does that tell you? That just tells you that protein, excess protein also converts to carbs. So you look at the entire picture, okay, that what are you at which stage of, if you're having about 10 to 15 kgs to lose and you are trying to build up muscle mass on top of that, you're not going to be able to look toned or even have cuts that you're looking for, because your body will be covered by a layer of fat. Okay, so it's better you go slowly and you progress. And by the way, if you're even on a fat loss, you're not going to lose muscle mass. That's one thing. Your muscle mass will be retained. Okay, and once, and sometimes even it increases. So what happens is, moment 2% fat drops, sometimes 1.5% muscle mass increases. It only comes through diet, because if you're not giving the building blocks, okay, your body is not going to be able to build that muscle. But we only want that protein for building the muscle. We don't want any storage protein right now, because we already have enough fat to burn.
Correct.
Okay, so the increase in the quantity of the protein will only come at a later stage once you've burnt that fat.
Got it.
Okay.
Got it. So essentially what this means is that a first part of my journey has to be to lose that extra body fat without losing muscle mass, which only happens when you're on a caloric deficit but not a starvation or a drastic deficit. I think as far
Absolutely.
as I understand, drastic deficit causes loss of muscle mass, which is what you should avoid. That's the unhealthy way. If you do your
Right.
fat loss with a controlled deficit, along with your workout routine, obviously, so that's where you lose fat. You've reached a decent level of body fat. Now I think for muscle gain, as you said, you have to be in a caloric surplus and you have to increase your protein. So these are like the two
Right.
broad steps in your journey, and you shouldn't try to mix these two, is essentially your message.
Right, right. So it starts with a deficit, goes on to being neutral, a
Hmm.
neutral expenditure and thing, and then it will go on to a little bit of excess. Now, why does the excess come? Because you have more muscle, I can burn more, right? So even if I give you a little bit of excess calories, your muscle will be able to burn those calories faster.
Got it. Got it. This is helpful. So Vaishali, now just this in our space, in our industry, myths go on everywhere. Pretty much everybody's an expert. It's not just people are uh, not well researched, or they have some wrong intentions, but also the fact that pretty much every couple of years some new research comes out, and it's very tough to be able to curate and get your hands onto the most credible piece of information, right? So that's tricky, but next 2-3 minutes where I just keep shooting some myths that I have heard, deeply entrenched myths around this particular topic that we're on to, and I'd want you to tell if it's true or false, it's a myth or a fact, and then just explain in a bit more detail about that, right? So
Sure,
uh,
sure.
first one, very common. What is the diet or exercise that I should follow to reduce my fat from my tummy or my thighs or my arms? Can you even target specific muscle group or body parts when it comes to reducing fat from there?
Okay. Okay. The answer is yes, you can target. I'll tell you the areas that you can target when it comes to nutrition. When it comes to nutrition, you can target your tummy fat. Okay. Why? Because the moment, but not arms and thighs. That's where you exercise comes into the picture. You do squats, you do lunges and arms, whatever, bench press and things like that. But that's where, fitness comes. But with in case of tummy, if you want to have flat abs, like you said, flat abs are made in the kitchen. So you need to have a diet which is, lower in calories in terms of lower carbs, a moderate amount of protein, moderate amount of fat. This is for people again who are starting off on a regime for fitness, and later on, obviously, percentages will differ. Okay, and restricting your carb intake towards the latter part of the day. This is very common. I think many people would have heard, because more and sleeping early. Okay, so
Mm.
finishing your dinner by 7:38 and sleeping early, as seen, you get flat abs because you're working according to the clock of nature. You're
Mhm.
working according to the clock of your body, and that's what helps you lose that extra tummy fat. Very important. Portion control. I cannot say have 3 meals a day and eat how much of you want all through the day. You're not going to end up getting flat abs. Okay. Overall, don't keep eating and eating. You know that funda of 5 to 6 meals all per day and all of that. That does not work very effectively for people who want to lose tummy fat. And intermittent fasting also works for people who want to lose tummy fat. But in the period that you're doing intermittent fasting, ensure that you're eating healthy. Okay, so let it be even an 8-hour window that you're eating. I would suggest everybody start with an 8-hour window and then go on to much lesser hours, because you need to understand how your body works. It does help in reducing stomach fat. So stomach fat increases because your insulin is very high. And insulin high meaning carbohydrates are high in your blood. That is all how it is. Moment your insulin and carbohydrates come low, your tummy will go much more inside. And for the rest of the body parts, arms and your thighs, you can definitely focus on workout. So suppose today you've exercised your arms and you have taken your protein powder, your protein will only get utilized over there, because that's where the body needs it. The body also understands.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is the reason certain body parts are exercised, and when you have your protein post that, it will be only absorbed by that body part, because only that body part has remained active, no, for the day. So it will get absorbed. That's how you can target each and every body part.
Got it. Got it. So next one, myth or fact. People saying this is my genetics, this is my reality, and I am a person who can never lose fat or get fit, right? So genetics is everything, and once yeah, there's a portion of people in the world who have so bad or such genetics that they can never be athletic. True or false?
Partially true, partially false. I'll tell you why. Why it's partially true. People generally from the north, okay, again, please, I'm not being culturally biased or anything, because they come from an Aryan race.
Mhm.
So that race has always had an athletic body frame, okay. So they have taken it from their forefathers. So if a person from the north is planning to build up, obviously not all North Indians, there are specific sect of people who actually have a very very good body frame. So if they try to build a body, they'll be able to achieve it much faster because of the genetics that they have. But it's not true that, okay, if you're lean and lanky, doesn't mean that you will not be able to reach that. You can, definitely you can reach that. Example, Amir Khan, I mean, he was so lean and lanky from what we know of him from his earlier movies, and now what he has become.
Mhm.
It's all hard work, it's all dedication, it's all the effort that you're putting in. So hence, take the right guidance. See, if you're taking the right guidance from see, we all don't know everything. We just hear from one person, hear it from another person, but approach a more knowledgeable person in the field, like a nutritionist or a fitness instructor, who can actually guide you in the proper direction to get into that body frame. But obviously, for a lean and lanky person, the journey is going to be a little more longer to reach the destination. That's all. But both the people can get a muscular body frame.
Got it. So it's essentially false. There is a dependency on genetics to some extent, but you can. It just means that your journey would be longer. Doesn't mean you can't get there.
Absolutely.
The other person can get there in 4 months. You might take 8 months, but it's your own body. So technically, saying that genetics ka matlab hai I can't get anywhere, that's wrong. Got it. All
Right.
right. Another very common myth is I just need to substantially increase my protein intake. So once I start my training, once I start my resistance training or strength training, as soon as I increase my protein to sufficient levels, I am sorted. There's really nothing else in the nutrition department that I need to worry about. Is it true or false? Or yeah.
Okay, workout or physical. Okay, it's false actually. So whenever it comes to fitness or building muscle mass, it's not only about the protein; it's about everything. Okay, you need carbs for even protein to enter the cell. You need to know how much of protein to have, how to spread your protein all through the day. So only protein post workout is not everything. No? You need proteins at the latter part of the day as well. And moreover, morning proteins, nobody speaks about it. We all are such carb dominant population that we end up having carbs in the morning, but actually you should start your day with proteins, because all your hormones that keep you active, they actually break down a lot of your muscle for sugar. Okay,
Mm.
so that is the point of time you should feed your muscles more. So hence it's not, your answer is about whether, okay, I started working out now, started taking say one scoop of protein, which gives a protein powder which gives me 23-24 grams, and then sorted out. No, it does not mean that. So this is not how easy it is. It a lot of technicality, a lot of biochemistry of the food that you need to understand that goes into your body. Okay, so it's best, like I said, work with a guide, work with a person who can actually guide you to get what you want in the time frame that you're looking at. So
Got it.
like I said, it's a balance of carbohydrates, proteins, and even fats. So you need to know which sources of fats you need to have, so that you're able to function much better. Also, supplementation. Okay, whether if your micronutrients are less, if your B12 is less, if your vitamin D is less, if your zinc is less, if your magnesium is less, all of these are going to hinder your progress. Okay, and so for all of this, I would suggest get your first self tested. Understand what your current blood parameters are. Many people don't even know that their iron levels are less, and they feel, oh God, I'm not able to perform in the gym, because obviously iron is less, hemoglobin is less, you're not able to perform. So get your hemoglobin tested. If your hemoglobin is low, first get that rectified. The moment you get that rectified, you will see your energy levels increase. The moment you take B12 supplementation, your energy levels will increase. So moment all this falls into place and your energy levels increase, can't you do another 10 more reps? That will
Absolutely.
help in building your muscle more, right? So hence, there's a lot of things that goes behind muscle mass building rather than just ingesting one scoop of protein powder.
Got it. Got it. All right. So you mentioned, Vaishali, there are so many of these micronutrients that are very, very often ignored by the general population. We keep talking about vitamin D being, deficiency being so prevalent, and yet the awareness is so less. In fact, I was looking at one of these videos which talked about vitamin D impacting your mood, your metabolism, and literally pretty much every aspect, right? In fact, I'll probably attach the link as part of this podcast. Very interesting video, right? Uh, so micronutrients ka, I keep asking my friends as well, how much do you know about it? And until a deficiency happens and the doctor says, man, B12 to kam aaya hai, iron kam aaya hai, hemoglobin kam aaya hai, until then the awareness level is absolutely missing, right? So if you could just talk about वो टॉप 3 4 5 माइक्रोन्यूट्रिएंट कौन से हैं एंड how to incorporate those. Obviously supplements is one route जहाँ पे if you feel कि यार डाइट से नहीं हो पा रहा है due to whatever reason, but natural sources से कौन से वो 5 हैं और उनको कैसे पूरा किया जाए for a athlete who's trying to become even more athletic.
Okay, fine. So first we look at iron. Okay, iron obviously once your hemoglobin. See, everybody has done a CBC in life. You know at which point it's a very common test. Okay, so if HB is low, then I would suggest get your iron transferrin saturation ferritin also checked. Mostly they will also come low. If you do not want to get these tests done, fine, no problem. If your hemoglobin is low, go have an iron supplement. Okay, but there's many iron supplements in the market. So buy the one that actually is the most absorbed in the body. Okay, no brand names are going to be revealed, but obviously again take the help of a health practitioner or a paramedical in the field who can help you with which iron supplement and how to take and when to take and how many months. Okay, second very important nutrient, obviously you know vitamin B12. Feeling tired in the morning, not able to get up, feeling sleepy all through the day, feeling sleepy after a workout, low energy levels all through the day. I have to push myself to get onto my feet. Secondly, also nerve related pain, tingling sensation on the lower parts of the body. All of these are vitamin B12 symptoms. Best, don't go by symptoms, get yourself checked. Generally in a report, this is something interesting and very important takeaway. Generally when you get a report 250 tak aa jata hai, so if you come in normal range of B12, no, you need to have above 500 to even feel active and energetic all through the day. So if you want to run like an energizer battery, you have to have more than 500. Okay. Next is vitamin D. Invariably our population, I don't know, by default everybody is vitamin D deficient, how much ever healthy they are. Okay, so something to do with actually the enzymes on our skin. जितना भी हम लोग तो we are in the tropical region, sunlight इतना आता है, but फिर भी we are vitamin D deficient. So something to do with the conversion. हम लोग के body में वो conversion नहीं हो रहा है inactive से active form में. So obviously हम लोग को directly active form लेना पड़ेगा body में. Okay, so supplementation on vitamin B12 and D every 6 months is very important. Vitamin D nahi loge, like Akshat said, you will end up having mood-related disorders, depression, sadness, hair fall, hair thinning, all kind of issues. Actually, it's a master nutrient. I would put that absolutely. As जो भी problems है, okay, calcium absorption नहीं होगा body में, ठीक है?
Correct.
The next nutrient is obviously calcium. If your calcium levels are low, please get yourself supplemented with calcium. Whenever you're having calcium, ensure you're having it after a meal which has got enough amount of protein, and also you're having vitamin D in the as a supplement for absorption. Nowadays, you're getting calcium in combination with vitamin D, or you can take vitamin D and calcium separately also. Fifth nutrient is magnesium. If you're going for muscle building, any kind of जहां पे भी मसल का कॉन्ट्रैक्शन रिलैक्सेशन हो रहा है, वहां पे कैल्शियम और मैग्नीशियम प्लेज अ वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट रोल. Okay, so if you're not able to relax well after workout, have magnesium before you sleep. It helps in relaxing your muscles. Again, I would suggest, don't go for multivitamins. This is my personal suggestion. I have nothing against any company, any industry, but take every nutrient separately. Because अगर आप सब साथ में लेते हो, one may cause the other one's absorption to be interfered. जैसे there are certain minerals which get absorbed together. Okay, तो उसका हिंडरेंस होता है. तो जितना आपकी बॉडी में अब्सॉर्ब हो रहा है वो पता ही नहीं चलता है. Secondly, every nutrient has got a place in your day to be taken. If you take magnesium in the night, your muscles relax, you get better sleep, it's a stress relaxant. Okay, but if you take calcium in the morning after your almonds or walnuts, that's also fine. So every nutrient has got an area or a specific place in the day to be taken. Last, obviously Akshat asked me only 5, but I'm just adding in a 6th one, zinc. Why? Because zinc is the one, it's obviously now it's COVID time, so that's why I'm propagating zinc also. Zinc and vitamin C together. Vitamin C, even if you don't take a supplement, it's fine. Have one gooseberry or Indian Avla a day. That should take care of everything your vitamin C needs. But zinc jo hai, for the functioning of any enzyme, okay, for digestion, absorption, you need zinc, okay, and for your overall immunity also. So zinc is one nutrient. Please focus on at least in these COVID times.
And so specifically for zinc, what are some of the natural sources if I were to pick that instead of supplementation?
Yes. Yeah. So zinc, you can go for sunflower seeds, okay, which is again a very natural source. Rest, everything is present in oysters and seafood, and high fatty flesh food. So I would not recommend if a person is on any kind of a weight loss or muscle building regime, because obviously then we have to burn all that extra fat. Magnesium is it's present in your almonds. It is present in all, basically your Brazil nuts, basically all nuts and oil seeds also, and obviously pure unsweetened cocoa powder. Okay. Also, you have pumpkin seeds as well. Okay. Vitamin D, obviously everybody knows sunshine vitamin. We do not get it through food. We have to supplement. B12, unfortunately, again, is the brother of vitamin D. You have to supplement. Whether you're a vegetarian, whether you're a non-vegetarian. Earlier, people used to believe, oh, non-vegetarians do not have to have vitamin B12 because it's not a non-veg खा रहे, so automatically B12 अंदर generate हो जाएगा. But invariably, everybody is deficient. So whether you're a vegetarian, non-vegetarian, ensure you're supplementing yourself with B12.
Got it. This is helpful. Coming on to the entire discussion, and I personally feel very, very strongly about this topic. जहाँ पे on one side, there are two major blockers in women pursuing, athletic transformations or trying to be athletic, right? One is obviously the entire myth around, why do I have to do strength training? Why do I have to do resistance training, etc., right? Which is a core part of your, being athletic, being functionally athletic. And second thing is, I think in general, it is tougher for women to get fit, right? Because there's so many biological and even cultural factors that essentially stop them from, really pursuing fitness. In fact, so few women that I know, I fundamentally know how strong doing something like resistance training is, how beneficial it can be for women. But more often than not, it's like I don't need it. I'd rather just do like some dieting, or I don't want to turn muscular. I don't want to look like a guy, which is again absolutely untrue, right? If you do resistance training as a woman, you do not start. You you don't have any side effect in terms of like starting to look like a guy after having too much testosterone. Nothing of that should happen. In fact, on the hormonal side, there are only benefits, right? We should talk about that in a bit more detail. But what I want you to talk a bit about is, as a, let's say, a 25-year-old female who's at the prime of her life, no health conditions so far, but you're fairly fit. Yet, what are the list of reasons why you should definitely try to become athletic, which is good diet, as well as do some form of strength and resistance training. How would it help you 5, 10, 20, or 30 years down the line? And we know it will, right? So right now, if you're at the prime of your life, does not mean you'll continue to be that way. Why should you really invest on that side as a woman right now, even if there are tens of factors stopping you from being able to do that?
Right. Very good question, Akshat, because I think that is what we are facing right now. Very few women, men, they always have this passion. I need to make a, body build. I need to have a very good body frame. Especially weight training. Also, you'll find a lot of men pursuing it, but women generally do not pursue it as long as they are not an athlete or anything like that. So I would encourage all the women to do some form of weight training or the other. Okay, because the main reason is women more than men lose muscle mass as they age. Okay,
Exactly.
and calcium absorption totally decreases. Okay, so therefore, what happens is calcium is for your bones. You must be wondering, why am I talking about calcium? So calcium is for your bones and muscles. Okay, so if your bone structure itself is weak, your muscle will not be able to hold. That is why there's a lot of sagging, there is muscle pain, there's muscle cramps, and things like that. Okay, so that's why it's very important for women to focus on muscle building, metabolism. Very important, because more the muscle, more the metabolism. Okay, so if a woman wants to age gracefully without putting on that extra hip fat and extra arm fat and all of that, very important, increase your muscle mass. If you increase your muscle mass and at least practice weight training half an hour to 45 minutes, at least 3 times a week is also fine. You will end up seeing that your body is more toned, your body is able to carry more weight. See, we as women, you have to go through pregnancy. Okay, you have to go to postpartum, once your menstrual cycle gets over, hormonal changes, which does not happen so much in a man's body, but your body needs to have that stamina, that energy, okay, to take all of that. And I'll tell you, muscle helps that. Okay, muscle helps in managing this kind of, and it's also seen that people who invest in weight training, they have much balanced hormones compared to a person who does not do weight training.
Exactly.
Okay, so the hormonal switches, the estrogen, progesterone going up and down, and just before the cycle, after the cycle, menopausal, all of that is actually regularized if you do weight training. Okay, now and very important, like you said, the example that you gave of a 25-year-old girl who's in the prime of her age. Okay, what is the one thing that she would do to maintain her weight is very important, not only with fitness and weight training. She also needs to maintain her diet. That's also very important. See, I'll tell you, diet and fitness go hand in hand. It does not go singularly. So if a woman is planning to do muscle training, she also has to feed her body. If she does not feed her body right, these muscles are again not going to get nutrients or reserves to build. So hence both have to go hand in hand with each other. Now the basic roadblocks that a person faces is, see, when you're 25, you're too young. Okay, you're just building. You finished college, you maybe started working, and you have that financial independence, and then you're wondering, abhi kyun karne ka? Why should I take it lightly, and obviously at that point you are slim and trim because you have your physical activity is also more, responsibility is less. So at that point, your body can take a lot of ups and downs, eating junk food, eating at irregular time intervals, sleeping at irregular time. Body can take everything, but all of this takes a toll on your body. So this is the major roadblock that I feel is people take it very lightly. For them, physical activity is optional. I'm telling you again, it's not supposed to be optional. It is supposed to be a mandate.
Correct.
Okay. And weight training, especially, I would encourage all the women to at least invest 2 days in a week weight training. Okay. Even if it's not all of the days, 2 days, very important to get your metabolism much higher. Okay. At the age of say 30 or 40 or even post 40, women face more challenges. Okay.
Absolutely.
And that can be additional responsibility. You have a family to take care of, your kids, you have in-laws. So there is lesser time for yourself. And it is a very Indian mentality, push yourself behind.
Absolutely.
Okay, everybody else's needs are first. Okay, but that doesn't work, my dear. For anybody, that doesn't work. Put yourself first and people will learn from you. You will set an example, because the moment you push yourself behind, you are also going to suffer from diseases, and over and above, everybody else around you is also going to suffer. Okay, so give your health importance so that your children learn from you. That's what I would say. Give yourself importance and the children would learn from you. That's all, it is about. I know I went too much into the importance of this, but all of this also surrounds a woman's life, right? So that's the reason I felt it is important to discuss. But
Absolutely.
Don't worry about, your muscles puffing up. It will never happen. Trust me on that. As long as we all produce, very interesting fact, Akshat, we all produce testosterone in our bodies. Even a woman produces testosterone, but not to that extent like a man's body. So we are not going to end up getting muscles like a man, how much ever you try. Okay, and for your kind information, people who are into bodybuilding competition, they do take external testosterone to build up that extra muscle.
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
so I would urge everybody that don't worry, please go ahead, get a proper body tone. You will feel happy. You will feel more confident about your body.
Absolutely, absolutely. In fact, I've seen so many women, young women who are, let's say, trying to get in shape for an event, for some wedding, etc. And even my sister, I remember for a point of time, right? The approach that she took was purely like a starvation diet. Let's say event-based goal, hai, right? कि यार अब शादी आ रही है, whatever, and let me just drastically cut down my calories. That's when I told her, right, there's a smarter way. Don't do too much calorie deficit. Just add some weight training to it, right? Or just fix your macros, do some quantification. That's a smarter way, right? So in 2020 you should not be doing things that people used to do in 1990s, which is okay, let's just stop raat mein dinner band kar diya, right? You have to be way smarter than that. And as a woman, given the imminent threat of pehle 20 to 30 की age के बीच में PCOS, right, 30 to 40 की age में postpartum, and just in general being overweight, and then just the entire process starts. And then 40 के बाद तो I guess menopause related issues happen, hormonal related issues keep creeping in, right? So for a man, it's the way I see it is, obviously there are other health challenges, but for a man it's just abdominal obesity. For a woman, there are so many multiple threats standing at every decade of your life. 20 to 30 में कुछ और है, 30 to 40 में कुछ और है. So why would you do something that can just potentially push you closer to that danger of PCOS, of whatever, right? And not just invest some couple of hours just to design something smarter and then just get started with that, right? So that's what I feel, right? It's all the more important for women to do weight training, try to become athletic. Nobody's saying become athletic to a level जहाँ पे job छोड़ के बस athlete बनने का try कर रहे हैं, सब कुछ छोड़ के. It's just investing 40 minutes 3 times a day on yourself ensures you become athletic. Earlier you start doing that, the better of your next 30-40 years of your life would be, right? So absolutely.
It actually, Akshat, it improves all areas of your life if you go to see. And let it be anything with your kids. You'll be able to expend more energy, and you'll feel less tired if you start building up your muscles. Okay. Also, it'll improve your sex life as well. Trust me on this. It'll get, you will start feeling happy hormones all through your body, and that's what a good athletic body does to you. Also, time can be an issue for many women all across the globe. Okay. I'll tell you one thing. You just need to know the basics of weight training. You can get basic equipment at home, like a dumbbell, a resistance band. Obviously, depending upon which stage you are in, you can get in different equipment which can actually, provide resistance to your muscle. That's
Absolutely.
all a resistance training is, right? And increase the number of reps, increase the weight. I would even suggest when you're walking, maybe you can put in a 1 kg dumbbell in your back and walk. So then again, you're giving resistance to your ab muscles. Okay, you can put in ankle weights and do your exercises. You can put in arm bands and do exercises. Increase the weight. So these are some things which you can do it inside your home and in the time that you have. So don't think it is a lot of time investment. It's just the start that stops you, you know.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So
I've seen this myself, right? It becomes addictive after a while. You do it for 2, 3, 4 years, you see the
yes,
benefits. If you can't see the
yes,
benefits and it's all theoretical, people shouting कि इसके benefits हैं, it doesn't click. You just try it out. You trust the people who are shouting कि इसके बहुत benefits हैं. If 1 or 2 years you stick to it, I think you become addicted more often than not. And as you said, right,
absolutely.
it is not just aesthetics. It's aesthetics. It's lesser lifestyle disorders. It is more productivity, more energy levels. You look
So
better, skin, hair, whatnot. We talked about last time. Your sexual health is better, right? And finally, you also end up encouraging people around you to do the same, right? So it's literally the
true.
magic pill. So to sum it up, I think I'd call pursuing being a functional athlete, a everyday athlete. It's the magic pill in life. If you can do that, literally it will have like a cascading effect on pretty much all areas of your life. So it is the magic pill is how I see it. I've been doing it myself in the last
Absolutely.
9 years, and I don't think I can ever stop. So it's pretty addictive.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And to all the women there, do not compromise nutrition when it comes to this. Okay, like you said, skipping a meal, all that, it just does not work. It's just going to eat into your energy, eat into your muscle. Okay, so better always when you're going in for any kind of fitness regime, please back it up with a healthy nutrition plan.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, this was it, Vaishali. Pretty thorough. We covered a lot of topics, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of questions as well that people might want to ask because it's a fairly involved topic. It's not easy to become an athlete, even if you have the motivation to. So I would
Right.
definitely encourage a lot of our listeners to actually drop in their comments and the questions on this video, and I'd love for you to spare some time to reply to those queries. If you can please do that.
Definitely.
And
Definitely.
definitely looking forward to catching up soon, sometime in the next few weeks, and discussing more on interesting topics like these. Thanks a lot for your time, Vaishali.
Sure. Sure. Thank you. Akshay, thank you so much for again, calling me to speak on this topic. And to all the viewers there, I would suggest dedication, consistency, and in relation to your food and nutrition plan is the ultimate recipe for you to get your muscle mass intact. So don't lose hope. Okay, if you feel you're lost, please reach out for help. We are always there to help you at NutriPal. So please, if you're already stuck, do not waste time and get assistance. Okay, so yeah, really, really nice being here and sharing my knowledge today.
Thanks a lot, Vaishali. See you again sometime.
Yeah,
Thank you. Bye.
yeah. Thank you. Bye.